We're recording.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Quality Matters. I'm Darcy Chambers,
I'm Kyle.
and we're continuing our mini-series from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Do you have it memorized yet?
Stop.
Okay.
No, I don't. Today we're going to talk about, I think, one of Kyle's favorites, mission statements and why they matter.
Woohoo!
You like mission statements?
I do.
Okay. So I'm going to give some examples from the book. He had really great examples for this one. So Stephen Covey stayed. I did a little Googling and found out he passed away in 2012. So he stayed at a hotel chain, and his examples were that he arrived late to check in. He was going to be training people in a convention room there, about 125 people. He said he arrived late. He asked the clerk that was checking him in, is room service still open?
Mm-hmm.
And the clerk said, no, sir, but I'll happy to be able to get you a sandwich or a salad or anything that we have in the kitchen. Would you like me to go get you something?
Mm-hmm.
He said, no, that's okay. But he took note of that. He didn't have to do that. And then he said, would you like to see your convention room you're going to be presenting in tomorrow? Is there anything else we can get you? And took note of that. So the next day he was presenting and he realized he didn't have or ran out of colored pens or markers or whatever he needed. And he only had a real short break, and he just stepped out in the hallway and saw a bellboy that was running to another convention room.
Mm-hmm.
And he stopped and said, excuse me, I have a problem. He said the bellboy kind of whipped around, came at attention, and said, looked at his name tag and said, Mr. Covey, I will solve your problem. And he told him what he needed, and sure enough, he brought him back some marker. He didn't say, go check the front desk.
Right.
I'll call someone for you. Maybe you should act like.
Right.
He did it. He said, I will solve your problem. I think those words are key. He said, I will solve your problem. Another time he was looking at some of the artwork in the hotel lobby, maybe, I don't know. And an employee walked up and he said, oh, would you like to see a book about the artist that we have? You know, just very preemptive.
Yeah.
See your interest in it. We have more information on it. Another time, there was kind of an elderly lady, I think he said, that was out in the garden of the hotel with her walker and was kind of struggling a little bit, had kind of fallen, but not quite. And she had people with her. But there was an employee high up on a ladder cleaning the windows. He saw she was straight. He got down off the ladder, helped her up, escorted her inside, made sure she was okay, and went right back up the ladder.
Fascinating.
No.
So no, that's not my job.
No, he didn't. I mean, think about.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. I've gained some weight. I struggle with stairs. think about having to climb down. He's stopping his job. Climbing down the ladder, helping the lady in, and going right back to his work. So finally, Mr. Covey stopped and spoke to a manager, and he said, I'm really amazed. All these things have happened, and this is amazing. And the manager offered their mission statement. Would you like to see our mission statement? And he said, sure. And so Stephen Covey read it, and he said, well, that's impressive, but a lot of companies have impressive mission statements.
Right.
And he's like, how do you make this work? And the manager said, well, do you want to see the mission statement for our location? And he said, wait, what? What was that? You know, so the first one was the chain's mission statement. Yeah. And he said, well, we have one for our location. He said, really? He said, yes, it's for where we are, for our time, for our guests, for what, for who we are. And he was like, wow, that's cool. So he read that. And then he was like, yeah, but still, this is just amazing. So then the manager said, well, would you like to see the mission statement for the people that checked you in last night? Would you like to see the mission statement for the housekeepers? Would you like to see the mission statement for this group of employees? So, he likened it to this wheel, and the hub is the main mission statements, and all these spokes are every group. And not only is it that the housekeepers had a mission statement and the kitchen staff had a mission statement, but they sat down and wrote it. Yeah. They sat down together and wrote their own mission statement, knowing what the main chain's mission statement was. They sat down and wrote their own, and then the whole hotel location used every group's mission statement to create theirs. Right. So they all were spokes of a wheel, and obviously it worked. And he said, I was really amazed when then I had to travel again and I stayed at a different location, same chain. And they had, I think his wife was with him, and they had ordered room service. And the room service took a little longer. He didn't say anything about it, but he was surprised. And when the employee got there with the room service, he said, I'm so sorry, Mr. Covey. I was on my way up here and the hot chocolate spilled, so I had to go back, fix the cart, and bring it back to you.
Okay.
No big deal. He didn't say anything about it. The next morning, he got a call from the room service manager.
Oh, wow.
That said, I heard that your room service took a little longer than it was supposed to yesterday. I want to offer you a brunch
Whatever,
or something.
yeah.
But the employee went and told the manager, hey, this happened. I spilled his drink. And that's
huge.
Again, I talk about our kids a lot,
Yeah.
but you say, hey, why is this like this at home? Or who did this? He did it. They're both pointing at each other.
Oh,
He
it was
did
because,
Yeah, and it's the same thing on a job. Everybody's telling why it's not their fault.
Yep.
And this employee didn't even have to ask about it. So you think about the culture that's created in which an employee can go say, hey, I did this, and it may have caused dissatisfaction in our guests. We need to do something to fix it.
Well, just real quick, I'm a little off of where the topic is going today, but I advise folks all the time to record every single little nonconformity that they can. Anything that's reasonable that could potentially impact the customer satisfaction or impact your efficiency or effectiveness of your job, record it, even if, and especially if, you don't even take any action about it. You just want to record it happened. We accepted it as is. It is an acceptable deviation, but record that you had that deviation. It does two things. One, it gives you great data so that later on, if this becomes a big issue, you've already got all the data you need to properly address and solve the problem. But the second biggest thing it does is it gets your people in the mindset of it's okay to report
To say
problems.
something went wrong.
If it's the norm that we report and record every problem, you develop such a sense of trust and accountability in the organization that you'd never get otherwise.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because it's the customer's happiness and satisfaction is more important than the individual employee.
Which is the way it's supposed to be.
It is, but at the same time, a company has to create a culture where that's okay, where I'm not in fear of losing my job because I spilled some hot chocolate on the way to the room. So I really liked that this hotel chain not only had their mission statement, but each hotel, well, I assume each hotel had each group of people create their own mission statement. So they all had the buy-in. It's something we've talked about a lot on this podcast. All the employees had the buy-in, and they've just created a culture where they know they are there to serve others. And probably, I would guess, I think we've talked about this as well, they've hired people that fit that mission statement. I can't remember which episode it was. Probably the what gets measured gets done, because you're going to measure what you value. And that's what you want done. So when you sit down and interview people, you need to make sure that they're ready, especially in the service industry. That is your job, is to serve others.
And people will fight and sacrifice. They may sacrifice their time and effort. They may sacrifice your time and effort, but people will work hard to achieve whatever goal you've set for them. And so if the goal is profitability and efficiency, well, they'll choose whatever means it takes to achieve that. It's a little scary for that to be your primary goal. If that's your primary goal, then that just doesn't leave much room for creativity in a good way. Lots of room for creativity in a very bad way.
Well, and I like how the book pointed out, that the manager gave him the mission statement, and Stephen Covey said, well, that's great, but a lot of companies have great mission statements.
Well, I did an ISO audit recently, and in this audit, they have the quality policy, which not quite, corporate mission statement, but it really is effectively a mission statement for your quality management system. This is what we're going to live up to and achieve. And they had the absolute cookie cutter statement in there, and I told them, before I come back for the stage 2 audit, like, you'll have to rewrite this to include something about what you do. And all it was I'm trying to remember it exactly, but to meet the requirements of our customers, shareholders, and the standard, and provide customer satisfaction and continual improvement. Like, you just copied that straight from the standard.
Probably, because I think people don't realize how important a mission statement is. They think it's just something on a piece of paper.
Yep. One of the companies that we've audited before for internal audits now, I guess this year will be the 4th or 5th year in a row we've done. They're from the leadership there is from Portugal. And so they have a little bit of a different take on quality management. It's really fascinating. But they have one of the most intricate and in-depth and wonderful quality policies I've ever seen. And of course, when you do an internal audit, the quality policy and the objectives and the manuals, first thing you always look at. And so I was just stunned by it. And year after year, it just shows and shows and shows in the work that these folks do about how much they really care about the quality program. And it did. It started with this very detailed, intricate, and very unique quality policy. That's more than meet requirements and achieve customer satisfaction.
Well, and I think that customers will see. I mean, clearly he noticed it, but he's looking out for it. But customers will notice when you go somewhere that it's a different kind of experience. I guess. There was one other quick example that I can share with IBM. And the hotel chain, I'm not keeping it from you. He didn't name it in the book. If he did, I would tell you who it was so we could all go there. He was also doing a training for IBM, and he says that IBM stands for 3 things: the dignity of the individual, excellence, and service. So he went to do a training. One of the members in the training started to become ill. I guess he kind of had some other issues because it says it required special treatment, whatever the illness was. He was out of state, away from home. So they arranged to take him to an excellent hospital nearby with great doctors and medical specialists in the specific disease that he was having an issue with. But they could tell that his wife was really nervous and just wanted him home with their doctor that had been treating them. So they agreed. They said, okay. But they were worried that it would take too long for him to get to the airport. So they rented a helicopter to fly him from the hospital to the airport.
Wow.
And then chartered a plane for him from the airport back home.
Crazy.
So, it just goes to like the dignity of the individual. Whatever it takes, we're going to do whatever it takes.
So whenever y'all are putting together your quality policies, you're putting together your objectives, really truly think about this. If someone were to write a book about your organization, would they brag about how you lived up to what you put on the paper there? I mean, it's not just another check mark when going for your certification. Yes, it is a check mark on the certification, but it's there for a really important reason. You have to unify your folks around this single principle. And, like for us with our business, X Quality Assurance, everything hinges around one single idea, is saving folks time and energy for what matters most. Now, that's going to apply internally with us. That's going to apply with our customers. It's going to apply with anyone else. And from that one statement, we get a whole lot of really interesting ideas that come off of it. For one, our support programs are all unlimited. We don't put limitations and restrictions on how much support you can utilize.
He's referring to our new monthly subscriptions that are kind of like consultation packages. So there's a number of them. If you're interested, give us a call. But like you said, the great thing about it, it's not like, you get 1 hour a month of consultation. You get us as much as you need us, because we found that in the past, y'all don't abuse that. If it comes to a point it's abused, we'll address it. But we don't feel like it'll happen.
The software monthly support plan is an unlimited support plan. And I won't lie, some clients, a couple months, we lost on. But, that's not necessarily the goal. The goal there is that we're doing everything we can to save you time and energy for what matters most. And so with that, if the client has got something going on where they really need a lot of help and support that month, well, dadgum, not only are we going to be there, we're going to make time to get that call scheduled right away. And we're going to make sure that we get you the support right then, right now, just like what you started out with the bellhop or whatever, where he just stopped and said, yes, I'll solve this problem for you. It's the same idea, but you have to, whatever your personal mission statement is, or for your, I see your personal, it really should be personal, but whatever your corporate or company mission statement is, it has to be something that if someone were to write a book about your organization, they would brag for a whole chapter about how amazing you lived up to it.
And I would like to say, probably you're listening and you're not the owner or president or whoever is in charge of this. So a couple of things. If you're listening to this, we would like feedback on what your mission statement is and how you feel your company is doing with it.
I love it.
And if you, this is kind of a hard challenge because it takes a lot of guts, and if somebody said it to me, I'd be like, whatever. But if you're listening to this and you're thinking like, man, I think we have a really good mission statement, but we're not really following it, or I think ours needs to be tweaked a little bit, I would challenge you to find a way to talk to the powers that be and say, hey, I've been reading this book. Maybe go read the book yourself. Don't say, I was listening to Kyle and Darcy. I was reading this book, and I think this is really important for our company.
I got a great thing to add on there. You talked about the one hotel, how each department had developed their own. Work within your department.
Yeah.
What is it that you are going to do as a department? 2 or 3 sentences. That's all you need. 2 or 3 sentences. Don't make it big.
And then let the company notice the difference in your department.
Let them notice. And then when that review comes up and they're like, man, what, y'all are really doing great this quarter. What's going on? Well, hey, we put this together and we're all living to it. And we talk about it every week and how we can achieve these results to help the company with its initiatives. And
it's something that you really have to work together on. I like that idea much better than going to the head of the company and saying, hey, we need to fix this. Because it shows a lot of initiative. So sit with your department. And a word that Stephen Covey uses is in this book. I tend to not like these kind
of
buzzwords, but is synergize. And it's really, we shouldn't get offended when other people want to help us with a problem, because you can do so much better. On our last episode, we just talked about getting a fresh set of eyes. So get your team together. Don't get offended by what people say. Let it be an open communication. I mean, we talked about culture, and if somebody gets in there and complains about the way you've led the department, listen to what they have to say and see what you can do to change it, and work on writing a new mission statement together within your department. But for sure, we'd like to hear from you on what your company's mission statement is, and if you feel like it's being followed or not, and if you decide to sit down and write a new mission statement for your department, for yourself within your company, whatever it may be, let us know. We want to hear about it.
And if you're having a hard time with it and you want some help,
call us.
We'll help.
Probably call him. He'll be better.
Seriously, we don't mind offering advice on these things. Just go, if you want to book that call ahead of time, go to book.texasqa.com and schedule it from there.
Or you can email either one of us, send us a message on LinkedIn. However is easiest to get a hold of us, we're happy to help.
Yeah, we'd love to talk to you about it.
All right, thanks for listening, y'all. All right, I gotta go use the bathroom and blow my nose.
In today's global economy, quality matters. Benjamin Franklin once quipped, "The bitterness of poor quality remains long after the sweetness of low price is forgotten." Quality Matters is here to talk about all things quality. So whether you're looking to improve your business, getting ready for an audit, or dealing with failed inspections, tune in, check us out, then get back to doing work that matters.